The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. We have some breaking news. There is an ongoing firefight between the military and the members of the Bangsamoro Islamic Freedom Fighters, or BIFF, in Dati Paglas, Maguindanao. This comes after BIFF militants occupied the town's public market earlier today. Stay tuned here on One News for more updates on this story. Meanwhile, all travelers entering the Philippines are now required to undergo a 14-day quarantine. Palace spokesperson Harry Roque announced that inbound passengers are required to stay for 10 days in a facility and 4 days at home if they test negative for the virus on the 7th day from arrival. Roque added that the 2-week quarantine is still required whether the passenger already got vaccinated in the country of origin. The palace said that the new protocol aims to prevent an India-like situation where the healthcare system has collapsed due to the massive spread of a more infectious variant. More than half of the all-Filipino crew of vessel MV Athens bridge tested positive for COVID-19. 2 of the crew members are in critical condition while 10 are in isolation facilities. Gerald de la Peña with the details.
Vessel MV Athens Bridge, which flies the flag of Panama and carries an all-Filipino crew, is currently anchored near Sangley Point in Cavite, about 15 kilometers from Manila. Footage from the Philippine Coast Guard shows personnel bringing oxygen tanks to the ship. Other footages show personnel fetching 2 members of the ship's crew, said to be in critical condition due to COVID-19. The Maritime Industry Authority, or Marina, said MV Athens Bridge traveled from Vietnam to China, then Singapore and Malaysia, before reaching 2 ports in India in April. By the end of April, it sailed back to Malaysia, then Vietnam, where it was discovered that of the 21 members of the all-Filipino crew, 12 were positive for COVID-19. The ship was already sailing back to the Philippines when the government banned travelers from India.
So, hindi inalaw ng Vietnam na bumaba sila doon para magpagamot. So, nag-decide yung may-ari ng barko na i-divert yung barko papunta dito sa Philippines.
Solon said it is possible that the crew contracted the virus in India.
Karamihan nun may mga stevedores na sumasampa para tanggalin yung mga lashing bars or yung mga bakal na humahawak ng mga container para hindi yan mahulog. So maaaring doon nagkakahawaan.
The 2 in critical condition are now in a hospital in Manila, while the other 10 are now in a quarantine hotel facility. The ship, moored near Sangley Point, remains isolated, said authorities. Marina said the manning agency shouldering all expenses. Marina also said the welfare of the shipping crew remains a top priority. In case another vessel encounters the same situation, the Bureau of Quarantine will decide on the next steps. For News 5, Gerard de la Peña, we are One News.
The Health Department approves the resumption of the use of Astrazeneca shots for all ages. This after the Food and Drug Administration and DOH expert group recommended the vaccine's use on people below 60 years old after an almost 2-week pause. The Health Department maintains that the vaccine's benefits outweigh the risk and urges the public to get their second dose of COVID-19 jabs. Minors aged 15 to 17 and senior citizens will be allowed to go out of their homes for the Philippine Identification System, or PHILSYS, registration. That's according to Palace spokesperson Harry Roque. He adds that the new national ID system will help streamline the distribution of financial support and the country's vaccination program in response to the current health crisis. PHILSYS is a digital platform that will collect biometric and personal data, which aims to facilitate in-person and online transactions and reduce fraud. The National Center for Mental Health flags the surge in the number of callers with mental health concerns amid the pandemic. Jen Calimon with the story.
Via Toledo was diagnosed with anxiety and depression back in 2017. The call center agent was able to pull through the following years, but things changed when the COVID-19 pandemic hit.
Pero dahil sa pandemic, nawalan ako ng activities kasi nasa loob lang ng bahay. Pagdating ng gabi, hindi na ako makatulog. So pagdating ng gabi, andun lahat lumalabas ng ang pag-iisip, lungkot.
Toledo says she had also stopped seeing her therapist.
Hindi ko feel na safe pumunta ng PGH ngayon. And yun nga, nahihirapan akong maghanap ng doktor na kayang mag-check up sa akin or makapag-check ako virtually.
VIA is one of the thousands of Filipinos experiencing mental health problems this pandemic. The National Center for Mental Health says that from the usual 20 to 40 monthly calls before the pandemic, it skyrocketed to over 1,800 back in April. The usual subjects are anxiety and depression, as well as relationship and family problems. The NCMH says the most frequent callers are women aged 18 to 30.
At the start of the pandemic, syempre nandun yung feeling of, diba, uneasiness, anxiousness, nandun yung fear, no? Nandun yung feeling of uncertainty, what's going to happen. Ang daming mga plans na naudlot, no? Ang daming mga families or even individuals, no, na bukod sa nawalan ng trabaho, yung mga na-expose sa pandemic mismo, sa COVID virus mismo.
The pandemic did not spare minors too. Last month, about 700 minors called NCMH Crisis Hotline asking for help on studies and family problems.
It's very important to address also or to cater to their needs. Siyempre, iba ang reaction ng mga bata compared sa adults. It's very important to have that open communication with them.
Ongoko said that the crisis hotline provides different interventions depending on the caller's case, such as suicide prevention and referrals to their facilities. They're also offering the so-called psychological first aid, where a person experiencing anxiety or depression is advised to do 10 to 20-minute breathing exercises, relaxation, and walking. The NCMH is urging the general public to take care of their mental health by observing proper diet, getting enough sleep, and exercising. They're also advised to limit social media use while also keeping constant communication with loved ones. For those dealing with mental health issues, the NCMH Hotline 1553 and other toll-free hotlines are open 24/7. Reporting for News 5, Jen Calimon. We are One News.
Safari-themed playtime and private cruises are the future of luxury vacations during the pandemic. Bloomberg's Nikki Eckstein discusses family travel options and what to expect when traveling with kids this season.
Lavish cruises, private safaris, and itineraries themed around beloved children's books. Is this the new face of family travel? High-end travel outfitters are getting more creative and reaching new levels of luxury when catering to the 18 and under set. But without vaccine access for kids, is any of it feasible? Pre-2020, kids clubs were essential components of five-star family getaways. Think of them like glorified daycares, with activities like exploring tide pools and making origami butterflies, all while parents happily get reacquainted with relaxation. In 2021, it's all about together time. Consider Take Me on a Story, the new program from luxury travel outfitter Black Tomato. One trip, inspired by Alice's adventures in Wonderland, includes a foraging class and couture costumes from a top atelier in the British countryside. The price tag, $45,000 and up for a family of 4. Another, based on Treasure Island, goes on sword-fighting adventures and underwater treasure hunts in the British Virgin Islands. Tempting, right? Here's the catch. Family travel has never been more complicated, and many countries opening up borders will require shots as a rule to get in. So let's assess the risks. Experts generally agree that COVID presents an extremely small risk to unvaccinated kids, and they tend to get fewer and less severe symptoms in the cases when they do become ill. But there are exceptions, so decisions come down to how comfortable you are with a potential positive. There's also the risk of spreading the disease, which is particularly concerning in destinations with poor vaccine access, where locals may be more vulnerable. But there is good news. While driving remains your safest bet, airplanes and trains have proven to be relatively low risk, with air being exchanged up to 44 times an hour. Swimming is also considered very safe. Not only is it outdoors, but chlorine is in pools to kill germs and viruses. And who doesn't want to eat outside when it means toes in the sand? So let's get ready to go big. Karen Downey Africa's new private safaris are designed specifically for families, with visits to Tanzania's Ngorongoro Crater and Serengeti National Park. For $8,400 per person, clients have exclusive use of every vehicle and kid-friendly lodge they use. Roar Africa is doing the same, but with Lion King-themed activities. As for Black Tomato, the most extravagant trip of all is a Call of the Wild trip to Alaska, including a kayaking safari, dog sledding, and a private helicopter ride to the top of a glacier. The trip clocks in at almost $40,000 per person. If that's not making up for lost time, we don't know what is. This is Where To. I'm Nikki Eckstein. For more stories like this, follow us on your favorite platforms.
Now for the latest in entertainment, Olivia Rodrigo reacts to comments on her resemblance to Miss Universe 2018 Catriona Gray, and Coldplay teams up with the International Space Station for their new single. MJ Marfori with the details.
If heaven does exist, it will most probably look like her. Which one, though? American singer Olivia Rodrigo finally reacted to comments that she looks like 2018 Miss Universe Catriona Gray. In a virtual conference, Olivia was flattered about the comparison. A fan of Catriona, Olivia describes her as a stunning and incredible person. She even said that Catriona could pass for an older sister. Rock band Coldplay, meanwhile, took it to space in releasing their latest single, Higher Power. Coldplay teamed up with the International Space Station and spoke about life outside Earth with an astronaut on board. The astronaut then played their song in space, literally out of this world. Coldplay also shared a recorded outdoor performance featuring colorful dancing alien holograms. For News 5, MJ Marfori, we are One News.
And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later again at 12 noon as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.